you are staking crypto in the Cosmos ecosystem, I found a new validator for you that might help you make even more money while staking your assets. Now, when you're browsing validators to delegate your coins to on any chain, you'll notice they all have a commission rate on the side, usually ranging from 0 to about 10%. And these commission rates come out of your staking rewards, so most people are incentivized to choose lower commission validators in order to keep more of their staking rewards. Of course, commissions aren't necessarily the worst thing because they also incentivize the validator to do everything they need to do to keep it up and running and secure the network. And in many cases, if you're going after airdrops, choosing a 0% commission validator could disqualify you from earning airdrops. However, this video is going to be about the Kleomedes validator. I'm looking at it right here on Sif Chain Rowan, but they do validate on quite a few different chains. And the reason I think this validator is worth highlighting is because this 5% commission rate that they charge on all of their chains actually gets paid back to the people who delegate their coins to them. And at the end of the day, this means that if you stake your coins with the Kleomedes validator, you can end up earning more than you could if you stake them with another validator. So in this video, I'm breaking down everything you need to know about the Kleomedes validator in case you're interested in staking with them. We're going to start by taking a look at the supported networks they validate on so you can figure out if your coins are able to be delegated to them. We're going to take a look at their roadmap. We're going to take a look at their native token, which is actually going to be airdropped to their stakers, as well as what you needed to do to qualify for that airdrop. But then most importantly, we're going to take a look at the tokenomics of their KLEO token, which is going to be the main way that they distribute their profits back to the stakers and the supporters of their validator. And that's going to have a lot of details about what you earn, how much you can earn, when you'll earn it, and so on. So we're going to dive right in there, and then I'm going to touch on the mysterious name origins of the Kleomedes DAO. So let's dive in. So first off, Kleomedes is a DAO, which is a pretty interesting idea because this puts all of the people who contribute to it and delegate to them in charge of what goes on here. It's one thing to trust a validator to redistribute their profits back to you, but by having a DAO organization here, it keeps the community in charge and in control of what's going on behind the scenes. Now, something worth noting is they started as a Juno validator, so that is still their biggest validator node they run. So it will be kind of the core or the center of their validator network and profits, but they do validate on quite a few other chains. So you can see just about every major chain in the Cosmos ecosystem they have validators running for. I personally stake to them on Sif Chain and on Juno, but you pretty much have your choice of whatever coins you want to stake with them here. I will say, however, keep in mind, they are not in the active validator set for a few of these chains, and that includes the main Cosmos validator set, Osmosis, as well as Comdex and Akash. So if you stake to them on these networks, you will not earn any staking rewards. It is not active, they're not earning rewards for staking, but if they were able to get enough delegations to these validators here, they will be able to push into the active set where they do begin earning those rewards. So that's something to keep an eye on if you want to stake on these chains. And support Kleomedes in that way. But just keep in mind, you cannot earn rewards for it just yet. So if you want to participate in the Kleomedes structure, you will have to stake to one of these active validators and not the ones you see here. And of course, hopefully you're familiar with staking on Kepler or Cosmos Station, but all you're going to do is find the validator on the list for whichever chain you want to stake to, find them here, hit manage, and then delegate your tokens to them. And we're going to dive into this much more in just a few minutes here. But the main idea here is they take the profits from these commissions, and then every week they're going to buy back the KLEO token that they're going to distribute here, which creates buy pressure on the token to hopefully push up the price. And then they distribute that token back to their stakers and their delegators. So as long as people are holding their KLEO token rewards, it will theoretically go up over time as they just buy more and more of the token and distribute them back to holders who are not selling them. So taking a quick look at the roadmap here, they do have a little bit more going on than just creating a token. Obviously, that is the core idea here, and that's what's going to kickstart the whole foundation and DAO. The next step will be launching the governance app, which gives the DAO full control on everything that goes on with Kleomedes. They're expecting institutional participation in early 2023, which could be another reason to just get involved now. The airdrop that, again, we're going to cover here in a minute, is exclusive to stakers who have already been staking on the chain. So there was no way for people to buy into a seed round or get any other access to the tokens other than staking to them early. So people who are supporting the Kleomedes DAO before these institutional participators come in, might benefit a little more than somebody who comes in a little bit later. They also plan to launch NFT auctions through their own NFT auction platform here, as well as a dedicated Cosmos IBC wallet in late 2023. I'm excited to see how this goes because it feels like Keplr and Cosmos Station kind of dominate the IBC wallet ecosystem. So to have another player here and see if they can bring something new to that kind of product offering will be pretty neat, especially if it's backed by a successful DAO. So if you want to participate in this profit sharing and profit distributions back to holders by holding and earning this KLEO token, you need to do one of two things. The first is being eligible for the airdrop that was taken a few months ago. So unfortunately, if you're watching this and you haven't been staking before, you'll have to wait until after this airdrop. But they took a snapshot of their delegators on 18 different chains, and these are all of the chains that will be eligible for this snapshot. And this was on April 8th, 2022. So anyone who is staking to the Kleomedes validator on this date should be included in this airdrop. And they have a really simple eligibility checker here on their website. You just paste your wallet address for whichever chain you were staking on, and it'll let you know. So I can go ahead and hit my SIP chain address here, and there we go. I'm eligible for the final airdrop. And what does this mean for the airdrop participants? Well, right here we can see the tokenomics, where the airdrop is going to distribute 45% of the total token supply to the eligible participants. Now, I was not one of these early backers. I was only participating in the final airdrop. So I'm only getting a slice of this. I think this should be 30% right here. 30% airdrop allocation for the final airdrop. I'm presuming the early backers are probably a little smaller number because they really pushed this final airdrop a bit on Twitter, and that's when I found out about them. But that's going to be the initial distribution, is anyone who is staking to the validator before that date. The second way to start earning KLEO token and participating in this profit distribution model is just by staking to them now. Yes, you will have missed out on this airdrop opportunity, but you will still be able to earn the KLEO token every single week as they buy back their tokens from the market and distribute them back to the holders and the stakers. But to really understand this model and how much we'll be able to profit and how many tokens we'll be able to earn and some of the other benefits, we need to really understand the tokenomics of KLEO and how this whole thing is supposed to work. So for this, I'm going to go through the tokenomics document that they've released. This is available. I think they probably pushed it on their Twitter. It's in their Discord. I'll also link it below if you want to take a look there. And I've actually taken this document and kind of reorganized it a little bit to highlight a few things and really focus on the most important details. So the one we are looking at is going to be my little edited document, but the original document will be available again below. So the first super exciting thing to mention here is that in addition to rewarding delegators via the revenue share, which again is going to be distributing the KLEO token, buying back the KLEO token, and then distributing the tokens again to stakers, they're also going to have KLEO staking. So when you receive those KLEO tokens from these weekly profit distributions, you can stake them, and then you can get additional rewards on those staked tokens. So now you have two models of earning with KLEO. One, by staking your coins to them on the validator, you're going to get airdropped weekly KLEO rewards as they buy back those tokens and distribute them. But if you take those KLEO rewards and you stake them again, then you're going to get rewards on those KLEO tokens. So first, your coins earn you KLEO. You can stake those KLEO and earn more rewards. So there's two ways to earn here, which I think is just another really attractive benefit of participating here. So as we saw, this was a typo on the token things where it said 28%. 45% of the total supply is going to be airdropped. Okay, and I just went and found this message from Discord. They are aiming to have this airdrop executed and released and officially airdropped, I should say, I guess, this month in June. And I was happy to see this note here that they're making sure they get the revenue share automation down. Again, they took the snapshot in April. It's been 2 months or so since they kind of got the information for the airdrop, but they want to make sure everything's ready to go so that as soon as this airdrop is launched, the token is out, they can immediately move into their profit sharing phase and just start working as they expect to. Now, the next part, for those who are receiving this airdrop, the tokens are going to be vested over a 12-month period. This means you're not going to have full liquid access to those tokens immediately when they drop them into your wallet. You're going to have them claimable for every month for a year. So you will not have the full airdrop amount until the end of 12 months. And it says here you just claim them every month on the website until the 12-month period is up and you've claimed all your tokens. And we'll dive more into the specific vesting schedule here in a second. And this is where we start to get into the specific way they're distributing profits from their validator earnings. So they're going to take 80% of their profits, which again comes directly from commissions, and they're splitting that to build KLEO liquidity. They're going to buy back KLEO tokens, and they're going to pay out staking rewards. Again, those are the rewards that you get for staking the KLEO, which is separate from the coins you're delegating to their validators. And if you're wondering what's going on with the other 20% of the profits, they answer that right here. First is 15% goes to a stablecoin treasury. And the remaining 5% is self-bonded onto the chain. So they're just taking those rewards and putting them back into the ecosystem and staking them on their own validator. And again, because this is a DAO, the community will have full say on what happens to this stablecoin treasury fund. And they list a couple of different ideas here for using this stablecoin treasury, such as incentivizing people to pool their KLEO tokens and build liquidity. But again, the main idea here is that the DAO has full say. So if you want to get involved with this, then that's going to be totally possible. Now, of this 80% that is split between building liquidity, buybacks, and staking rewards, they say initially they're going to focus mostly on liquidity. And that's just going to make it easier for them to facilitate the buybacks and the distributions every single week or every single month. So that's going to be the key focus at the beginning, which means most of that 80% at the beginning might not be paid back to stakers and delegators immediately, but it's going to just, again, make things smoother and more stable over time. So 2 quick notes on that. First, they say the liquidity will be in KLEO Juno. Again, as the main validator on Kleomedes is Juno, that's really going to be, again, the central chain that they're operating most of this from. And that also means that the token liquidity pool will launch on JunoSwap. I think that's mentioned somewhere else in here. But another point is that by using the profits of the Kleomedes DAO to buy liquidity, they say here, it enables the DAO to own its own liquidity instead of paying out other people to bring it in or renting that liquidity elsewhere. And it describes a few benefits here. Again, just keeping everything owned by the DAO, giving the community control of what's going on. I see just nothing but benefits here. So again, like I said, if you did not participate in the airdrop, you are still eligible to earn KLEO by way of these weekly snapshots. Every week, they're going to take a snapshot of their delegators. That's anybody who is delegating to one of their validators across the Cosmos ecosystem, and anyone who is actively staking to them during these snapshots will be eligible for the revenue share via buybacks of KLEO. Again, they buy them from the pools, they distribute them back to the community. But an important thing to note about these buybacks is this won't result in any change on the KLEO token price if everyone just sells their weekly rewards. The primary way to sell these rewards will be the KLEO Juno liquidity pool. So if the KLEO DAO goes to that liquidity pool and buys out the KLEO tokens, that might have a short-term impact on the price. But then if they distribute them to all the holders and the holders just go sell their KLEO back into that pool, there's going to be no net change. So the only way people win here is if people actually hold their KLEO tokens long-term. But the staking function that they've decided to add is going to have a huge benefit to that. And this is because, as we said, KLEO can be staked to earn bonus rewards. But here's the really cool part. These rewards may include a single asset or a basket of assets. They're going to rotate rewards regularly, but they will initially be paid in Juno so that they don't create any sell pressure on the KLEO token through staking. So I really like this idea because they're taking all of those commissions they earn from the various chains they validate on, and they're redistributing those to KLEO stakers. So let's say you stake your Juno tokens and you get airdropped KLEO. Well, then you can stake that KLEO and potentially get paid out Juno rewards for staking it because they're also distributing some of their profits that way. So I just see this as another great way to earn even more rewards, and even in other tokens, maybe helping build positions across Cosmos that you don't have yet or that you want to build even more of. And this is a really exciting part too. The price of the KLEO token will be related to the validator revenues. As the validators make more money, they have more profits to distribute to KLEO token holders, which makes holding and staking KLEO token even more attractive, driving up its price naturally. And that means there's a couple different ways for KLEO to succeed here, at least from an investment perspective. First, if they gain more delegators, they're going to have a larger bucket of assets to earn on through their commissions. And of course, more commissions means more profit, which means more money distributed to KLEO token holders. But second, even if they get no new delegators, the price of the tokens that people are delegating to them could still increase. And again, if they have a higher value, they're going to have more profits, again, distributed back to holders. And this basically says that because of this, the market dynamics will eventually determine what is the appropriate price for KLEO based on what KLEO is earning and what the buybacks and revenue distributions are worth to holders. So that was kind of mostly an overview. Now we're going to take a quick look at the specifics of some of these numbers and tokenomics and things like that, starting with the token allocation. So again, we know 45% of the supply will go to the delegators who are eligible for the airdrop, but another 40% will go to the governance pool. So 5% goes to development, 5% goes to liquidity incentives, which will be to incentivize users to pool their KLEO tokens again on JunoSwap with the Juno pairing. 5% goes to marketing, and 25% goes to the community fund. And again, as a DAO, the DAO members will have complete control of this community fund and how they choose to spend it. So quick side note, they have an application here if you want to help contribute to the DAO, whether you have development skills, technical development skills. I mean, marketing skills, things like that. They're looking for people to help, and part of the community fund could be yours for that help. So check that out if you're interested. The link is in their Discord. And as we said, they could use the liquidity incentive fund to attract more liquidity to the KLEO pools from holders, or they can put it in the liquidity pools themselves to improve that liquidity. And again, the DAO is responsible for all of this, however they want to use it. Now, a good note here is the team is allocated 15% of the supply. 5% goes to the core team and 10% to the developers. Now, a good note here is the team gets 15% of the supply, which is not a small amount, but they are subject to a 1-year vesting cliff. So that means they don't get any of these tokens for the first year of the DAO launch. So while all of the people who received the airdrop will start getting liquidity and getting those tokens for the first year, the team members get nothing until that first year. After that first year, they will receive all of their token allocations within the next year. So from month 12 to month 24, they're going to get 1/12 of their token allocation each month. And this is a good sign, at least in the beginning. That gives people who are holding and receiving and earning these tokens every week a full year to receive full value from that token until the team unlocks their tokens and potentially has the opportunity to take profits. Whether they will or not, maybe they'll stake them and earn more rewards themselves. Time will tell. So here we get more details on the airdrop itself. As we said, there is a vesting schedule over 12 months, and they say this is to prevent supply shock and to create a high initial staking APR for KLEO, which I like the sound of. So as you can see, the first 3 months, they're only releasing about 12 million tokens a month to the people who receive them through airdrops. So initially, the circulating supply is going to be quite low, and this number does scale up over the year until that final month where the bulk of the tokens are released. So as the circulating supply is low in the beginning, I think that is going to be the best time to be staking and earning these buyback rewards every single week with KLEO. So I'm just really excited to be a part of this for the first launch and see how it goes over the next couple months. Now here we get a very clear outline of their profit buyback plan. Again, they say that they're going to focus most of the profits on building liquidity at the beginning, and we get that right here. 55% is going to be focused on building liquidity at the beginning. The other 45% will go to directly buying back tokens and distributing staking rewards to holders. And of course, over time, these numbers will balance back out. The liquidity building profits will be lowered significantly, and all of those profits will then go back to buying tokens and being distributed staking rewards to the KLEO stakers. And this just goes to show that users who choose to buy or stake, or both, KLEO tokens early on will receive a larger share of the revenues in the future. So again, being early pays off, and this is our chance to do it. And I love this. By the end of the first year, they're delivering over 85% of their profits directly to the delegators and stakers of the KLEO token. And again, that's because 5% of their profits are going to be rebonded to the chain, which is essentially more assets that they can earn on and pay those profits back to holders. And then they've got all this money going back into liquidity, going into token buybacks, and then going into distributing staking rewards. So that is almost all of the commission earnings going back to the holders, back to the stakers and the delegators. And that's something you don't see with any other validator. And here you have the exact outline of the revenue share model. Again, starting really strong with the liquidity incentives, putting 55% of profits into it at the beginning, tapering down to 15% starting in month 9. And again, most of the profits at the beginning, again, also into buybacks. So the amount that is really scaling up over time is going to be these KLEO staking rewards. And to me, that just shows that staking KLEO is also going to be a huge income opportunity on top of just the KLEO token itself. And we have a few more details on staking here. Again, they're going to pay out the assets that they receive as validator commissions. So you can expect to receive one assets, many assets, we don't know exactly yet, but anything from the chains that they validate on. And they validate, again, across the Cosmos ecosystem. So it could be a great opportunity to diversify your Cosmos holdings or stack the ones that you like the most. And the tokens will have an unbonding period. This is common for Cosmos, but unlike most other tokens, you will continue to receive those staking rewards until your tokens are fully unbonded. And this isn't always the case. For example, if you stake on Kepler, you might have a 14-day unbonding period. And during those 14 days, you're not earning any of the APR rates that you would for staking. And that kind of makes it tough to unbond your tokens and stop staking because you know you're going to miss out on that revenue opportunity for that unbonding period. And that's not going to be the case here, which is a really great sign. Now, a few final notes here for people who are delegating and trying to earn these KLEO tokens. Again, 100% of profits are under your control. That's because as a staker, as a delegator, you are part of the Kleomedes DAO. As a DAO member, you can vote on how these funds are used. Whether it's the treasury fund or the marketing fund, you do have control over all of these funds by being an active member. And of course, the funds that you don't control are funds that are getting paid back to you in profits every single week. And it really is as easy as just delegating to their validator on one of the Cosmos chains. Again, every week there's a snapshot, and if your wallet is part of that snapshot, you'll be able to claim KLEO that they buy back from the market and distribute back to their delegators. Now, the exact amount you get from this will depend on the chain you're delegating to. This depends on the chain's APR, the share of the delegations you have on that validator on that chain, and the USD value of the token on the chain. So presumably they're going to balance out all of these metrics and make sure that each delegator gets a proportional value of KLEO buybacks to the amount they have delegated on the chain compared to all the different chains that they run validators on. I also highlighted this here again. I think we talked about this a minute ago, but the profits of KLEO and their other validators scale with Juno price and the price of the other tokens that they run validators for. So if you're bullish on Cosmos tokens, you could be bullish on KLEO too, because as those tokens appreciate in value, so does KLEO's profits, which are distributed back into the KLEO token and to KLEO stakers. Again, it really just seems like a win-win for me if you're staking in Cosmos already, because it's just another way to gain even more assets for staking. And if you're curious about the token price when it launches, stay tuned, because they say 1 week prior to token launch, they're going to release a spreadsheet with all of their calculations that determines how the launch price is determined, as well as how they're allocating tokens based on the stakers or delegators for all of the different chains. So Twitter is probably a pretty good spot to follow them on. They are Kleomedes DAO on Twitter. I'll also leave a link to their Discord server below. That's another great place to ask any questions and stay up to date on everything that is going on. Before I wrap up, I was a little curious where the Kleomedes name came from, because it's definitely like an ancient Greek kind of origin. So I found this story, and I found the exact same story on a couple different sources. So I'm assuming this is the only Kleomedes in this ancient Greek history. But it says Kleomedes was a boxer, and he accidentally killed his opponent in a boxing match. And one of these other sources says that killing the opponent wasn't a bad thing, but he made an illegal hit that was actually not allowed. So his victory was taken from him. And then he was really upset, and he stormed back to his hometown, where he took out a school with about 60 children and killed those children because the building collapsed on them. And then, no surprise, the inhabitants of the city are pissed and they stoned him. So he took refuge in this temple by climbing into a chest and closing it. But then when the civilians cracked into the chest and opened it, he was not in there. So then the city sends people some oracle, and they're like, what happened to this guy? And this oracle says, oh no, he's a hero. You must honor him with sacrifices now. And from this time, they honor him as a hero. So I see no parallels from this ancient story to the Kleomedes DAO, except for, I don't know if the DAO is sacrificing profits, and that's kind of relates to the story. It's kind of an ugly story. So I don't know what the idea here was behind the Kleomedes name, but that's about all I got for you on the Kleomedes DAO. If you got any questions, drop them below. I'll be happy to answer them in the comments. Again, I am personally staking my Juno and my Rowan tokens to the Kleomedes DAO validator. If you want to learn more about SIFT and the Rowan token, it's pretty much my largest position in Cosmos right now. You can check out this video here on a little crash course. But I'll see you in the next video.